Hello everybody, my name is Baker, this is Adil and Ashali, and we're going to present a case for you guys today.
Hi, today our principal is PCL, and they're a European-based high-tech company. One of their main focus is TVs, and they're also really big in China. China is the second largest market for consumer electronics in the world. And one of their biggest sales for is coming from small cities and rural areas. They have a government subsidy that supports that market so that people can return their old TVs and get new LCDs. Our principal, PCL, is having a dilemma, and the dilemma is that they have a really high return on their market on TVs. And something even worse than that is 37% of all the return is actually in good quality.
So one of the things that PCL did to actually tackle this issue on hand is that they created a cross-functional team. The general manager of PCL appointed the service director to lead the task force. And one of the great things that he did is he gave the service director the authority to kind of expand his scope. So one of the things you'll notice is when you look at the divisions within PCL Consumer Electronics is that they had a TV division and a supply chain and service division. And these divisions were entirely separate. So the service director may not have actually been understanding what was going on with the TV returns. So by making him, providing him with more scope, they were able to actually handle many more issues than they were realizing at the time. Basically, the strategy that they use is they didn't want to create different divisions with their own objectives that could cannibalize each other's basically goals. So the really important thing that they were able to accomplish is by the cross-functional teams, instead of having more breadth this way, they were actually able to create more depth, which was really, really important. One of the other things that PCL did really well to tackle this issue was relationship and expectation management. Initially, we had found out that a lot of the salespeople had very friendly relationships with the distributors and chain retail stores, which was allowing them to kind of make their own separate goals on the side, which may not have been in the benefit of PCL. So a detailed rotation plan was actually created for field salespeople so they wouldn't be too friendly with the dealers. But Adil, you had mentioned that there is actually kind of a negative to this rotation plan.
I was thinking, if you rotate all those salespeople, maybe they would lose their personal contact, and that would cause like loss of communication, or the salesperson wouldn't know the ins and outs of the community and the retail. So I kind of see some downsides of that.
Right. So I think you would have to actually find a balance between the relationships that's very healthy and kind of promotes the entire well-being of the principal at hand. Baker, I know you were saying there are a couple management controls in this case that you think were really kind of used effectively throughout tackling this issue.
Yeah, we have to look at the future on this case, right?
Yeah, actually what I thought was very interesting for this company is their use of the management controls. I saw that they use all three forms of them. The first one being the feedback. They had very precise data from 2008 where the cost of return sets in its TV division amounted to 5% of the division's total sales. And even beyond that, we saw that 37% of the returned TV sets were actually in good condition and were actually returned without reason. And the second management control that they use is the concurrent one. The project team met every 2 weeks to review changes and actually to review, and then changes were made in the business. And then immediate actions were actually taken to correct any weaknesses that they had. So I thought that was a very good use of concurrent. And they also used feed forward because they actually implemented incentives and penalties to ensure objectives were accomplished. One example of that was the service director applied a $4,500 bonus for the team that was actually performing very well. So I thought this was very interesting for the company.
Right. So I think the three main things that we noticed in this case was the use of a cross-functional team to allow for more depth than breadth, relationship and expectation management, and also these three types of management controls. And these three things that we have here can really be applied to any future scenarios that PCL faces.
Yeah, not only TV, right?
Exactly.
All the industries and sectors.
Yes.